G'day guys. First of all, I feel pretty sick. Okay, physically I'm actually sick. So literally, physically, I've got head cold, really bad head cold. It's not. Well, maybe I'm full of COVID. Maybe I've got the COVID. Okay, I'm in Victoria, so maybe it's fucking gone right through me. But no, I'm going to soldier on through this. Okay, I want to get this out of the way. It's actually exactly 3:20 on my laptop here, which is a coincidence. It's 24 hours after our 23-point loss to the Swans. I was fucking ropeable last night. Absolutely ropeable. I was so numb post that loss and indifferent, just indifferent. I couldn't find, I don't know, I just could not find any energy in me at all to even fucking be interested in where we're heading. But once again, a good night's sleep. But I'm still at this point where, oh, fuck's sake, I just don't know where we're heading. I really don't. I've been trying to be super positive and trying to empathise where we're at and how hard this must be. But Jesus Christ, we're not doing ourselves any favours. We're not doing ourselves any favours. What I wanted to really focus on, because I think a lot of the talk over the last 24 hours has been on the red time goals, and that was the theme yesterday. And instead of just sort of banging on, we can't stop momentum, which is true. Our skills are poor, which is true. I wanted to just try and compartmentalise, you like that word, compartmentalise, the last 6 minutes of the first quarter. Now, we coughed up 8 goals in red time yesterday, so 4 at the end of the first, 2 at the end of the second and 2 at the end of the third. This one seemed the one to really focus on because it was 4 goals after we had huge momentum because we kicked 4 out of our own after the Swans kicked the first 4 goals of the game. And I did read a stat somewhere today that we've coughed up 66 goals in red time for the year thus far, which is quite incredible. So there always seems to be a problem with David Teague. So remember, it used to be slow starts, and then it was those periods where we cough up 6 goals straight or 7 goals straight, and we just couldn't stop momentum. Well, this is something similar, but this has gone into red time and not so much at the start of quarters. So I wanted to pinpoint what is going on, or just try and understand it myself, because it can be quite simplistic just to fucking just say, fucking it's a lack of work rate, which it probably is, or a lack of fucking, the mindset's poor, or, that the pressure drops off. All those factors come into play, but I want to see if there's any consistencies. And it'd be great, if we could do this across the season, just to see, are there culprits, or is it a whole team? I'm sure it's a whole team thing, but are there certain individuals who seem to be making similar mistakes at really important parts of the game in regards to red time? So I want to start with 6:15 remaining in the first quarter, and I've watched this over and over again. I've watched this part of the game over and over again, and I wish I was there, but then again, it wouldn't have mattered. I've just been able to watch the vision, no behind the goals, just the general Channel 7 vision, pausing and doing all that sort of stuff, just to try and get a feel of what went on. Because at that time, 6:15 remaining, we kicked 4 goals straight after the Swannies kicked the first goal. We were up and about. Eddie kicked an absolutely magnificent goal. Our pressure was good. We were moving the ball relatively quickly. We were switched on, we were definitely switched on, all right, and we looked good. But we all knew. So what is happening? I wanted to find out what actually happened. And it seems to me that at the most exciting point, it seems to me the first trigger is at the most exciting point. And it usually comes after, a magnificent goal by Eddie or something really exciting. And almost feels like we can't handle that hype or that situation. It's actually too much for us, including fucking Eddie. I don't know, including Eddie. Anyway, the good thing is we go back to the centre and we win the clearance out of the middle. Straight away, win the clearance out of the middle. Great tackle by Setterfield. I can't remember who we tackled, but the ball spilled to TDK, kicks the ball around the body, inside forward 50, deep inside forward 50. We force a stoppage, okay, with 5:47 remaining on the clock, only 20 metres out from goal. Now, you think at 5:47 remaining on the clock with 18 minutes remaining, the bonus then would be the desperation to kick another goal. Manic forward half pressure, manic. I mean fucking manic, everything, okay? Small forwards, fucking everyone, okay, involved. All right, because there's one, an opportunity to kick another goal, more scoreboard pressure, but two, to lock it in there. You'd think at that stage, all right, at that stage you would train to think in that manner. But it was anything but that. It was anything but that. Okay, the exit was as an easy exit that you would see from a stoppage, okay, in any football from the Swannies. Okay, not only was it an easy exit, they were then allowed to have 6 uncontested marks on one side of the ground, through the middle to the other side of the ground, that ended up in the hands of Josh Kennedy on a lead in front of Adam Sard. Now, at the time, we thought, oh, fucking hell, Sardi, keep on him. Okay, he trailed him, keep on him. Okay, easy mark, 30 metres out, goal. 12 points up. All right, and we're thinking, fuck me dead, 4:32 remaining on the clock, they've got one back. Can I just go back to that stoppage in our forward 50? Not only would you think that you'd have manic pressure, okay, at the stoppage from our small forwards to lock that ball in, which we didn't have, but at that stoppage inside forward 50, Josh Kennedy was there. He ended up kicking the goal. So he's run from one end of the ground to the other one to get an uncontested mark. Now look at the stoppage. Go back and have a look. The man that was manning him up at the stoppage against him, against him, was Will Setterfield. Now, this is a knock on Will Setterfield. But if you watch the vision as the ball easily goes out with 6 uncontested marks and then comes through the middle, Kennedy's off to the races to get down to the other end. He knows, okay, he needs to get down to the other end, all right, into their forward half. To his credit, Setterfield goes with him, okay? Watch the vision. Straight through the middle, Setterfield's on his tail. Right on his tail. Right at the last minute, as Kennedy goes inside, not at the last minute, at the last second, as Kennedy goes inside forward 50 and is drifting down towards the pocket, Setterfield, for fucking some reason, decides to give up on him. Just completely give up on him and points, I think, to Adam Sard to take him. Sard, by that stage, was well out of position. Okay, he was never going to come up, okay, and be able to affect the spoil. So I've got no idea in that situation why Will Setterfield, who was Josh Kennedy's man and had him all the way through the centre square, would decide in the last seconds to leave, okay, Josh Kennedy alone to take an uncontested marks, goes back and kicks an important goal. 12 points up, okay? And where was the desperation to close down space with those uncontested marks at that time of the first quarter? Where was the desperation? How was Sydney allowed to get 6 uncontested marks at that time of the game? It is fucking unbelievable. 4:32 remaining on the clock. Now, this one's a bit lucky for the Swannies because Mills wins a dicey free kick in the centre of the ground. He pumps the ball right long inside forward 50. We actually do quite well to defend and force a ball up about 40 metres from the Swans' goal with 4:04 remaining on the clock. 4:04 when we force that stoppage. What was about to transpire here was one of the worst things I've seen from an individual at our football club this year. And this is a man, okay, this is a man that has been fantastic over the last month, all right, and I think has led really well over the last month. But these are the consistent things that he'd been showing early, okay, and last year as well, which are not what you want from a senior figure at your football club or a captain. Ball spills from the stoppage. And that dreadful, pathetic kick off the ground attempt by co-captain Sam Doherty, which allows Luke Parker just to pick a goal up and snap around his body with 3:49 remaining. That's 2 goals in 45 seconds. One from Setterfield just giving up on his opponent, and the other from our co-captain trying to kick the ball off the ground, just a really lazy attempt. Would not get the head over the ball, pick the ball up and clear. He lazily tries to kick the ball off the ground, 6 points up. Not only that, Parker goes off the ground. There's all smiles as he goes off the ground, okay? All smiles. Okay, I reckon they're having a bit of a laugh about it. Ball goes back to the middle. Centre clearance. Josh Kennedy, who's been involved in kicking a goal, okay, is up and about. Easily pushes Sam Walsh off the ball. Ball goes inside forward 50. Ball goes inside forward 50. Once again, I think we do significantly well to force 3 stoppages. 3. Okay? 1 at the 3-minute mark, and they're all around about in between the 50-metre arc up the Swans end and the centre-half forward line. So we forced the stoppage at the 3-minute mark, then another stoppage at 2:38, and another stoppage at 2:27 remaining on the clock. 6 points up. Okay, having a fair bit of trouble trying to clear that area. What I did notice then was, at those stoppages, and this is either great leadership and smart thinking by the Swans players or great coaching and poor coaching from our point of view. And I suppose whether we were able to get a message out at this stage, okay, and this is what I've noticed from the vision. All right, so Heaney, who was playing predominantly forward half at that stage and become a little bit of a nuisance, he pushed up at those stoppages, he pushed up onto the wing onto Matthew Cottrell. Cotter's direct opponent, who he'd had a minute before that, was Oliver Florence. Florent went onto the ball at the stoppages, at the foot of the stoppages, allowing Heaney to have his preferred matchup, which was Cottrell, okay, at those stoppages. No good, no good. We were able to clear the ball from those stoppages, okay, but it was a kick around the body. I think Doc got the handball out and Sard kicked on his opposite side, okay, out to the far side. We had no numbers at the fall of the ball. I think Harry went up for the ball hit the deck net. McInerney streamed, okay, inside forward 50, kicked the ball long. Jones loses his feet, leader. Wiedering completely fucking overruns the ball, leader, and then falls over, which allows Buddy to run onto the ball. Easy kick over the top of Cottrell's head, who had chased Heaney down. Heaney had actually got his match up and had come down. And if McInerney had actually gone to Heaney, he would have easily outmarked Cottrell over the top. That's what that was all about. That ball ends up in the hands of Heaney. No fault of Cottrell, no fault of his at all. Okay, he had to go to Buddy. Ball came over the top. Another goal. Another easy goal. Scores a level. Quite incredible. Once again, 2 leaders, Jones and Wiedering, both falling over at critical times. Critical times. How many times have we seen that? I reckon I could fucking go back through all the tapes and see those situations where our leaders, okay, our good players have made horrible mistakes like that. All right? And sure enough, okay, it's difficult at times, but to lose your feet, not 1 player but 2 players, okay, and have Buddy, okay, just waltz around and do what he likes, okay, scores level, 1:27 remaining on the clock. Ball goes back to the middle. We actually win the clearance. So in all this time, we've won 2 clearances, lost 2 clearances. So we didn't actually lose four clearances from those centre square, only lost the 2. We actually win this clearance. It was a good one as well. Ball comes to the back of the square, Swan side. Walsh wins a nice handball to Stocker. Stocker feeds the ball out to Patrick Cripps. And Cripper, what a game. This isn't a knock on Cripper because I thought he was outstanding. Outstanding. All right, so we have about 1:30 minute remaining on the clock. We're streaming down the wing. Cripper's got plenty of time and plenty of space. Probably just backward of wing, okay, far side of the ground. Instead of going long as he could, deep to the pocket, scores a level, deep to the pocket to maybe force a stoppage or to get numbers forward. Cripper tries to nail 2DK with a low percentage kick in the most dangerous spot against the Swans. That is high half forward. 2DK never had any separation really. It would have been a half-hearted lead. Any separation on one of the best closing defenders in the game, in Dane Rampy, who was right on his ginger. Ball spills. Mills comes out. Mills wins a free kick against two of our players. I think it was Doc and Ed, gave away a free kick. Mills wins it. Heaney somehow fucking got away from Cottrell and is now back on Sard. Takes a really nice contested mark. Plays immediately on with Sard fucking in no man's land and hits Buddy up on a lead with a truckload of space in front of him. Truckload of space inside forward 50. And we go back to our co-captain, and this, you know, Patrick Cripps, our co-captain Patrick Cripps, who with that kick to TDK, that low percentage kick at that time of the quarter, didn't allow us to get numbers back to support our back six. Buddy kicks a goal, never fucking misses against us, does he? Never fucking misses against us. The Sydney Swans go 6 points up. That is 4 goals in 5 minutes, 50 seconds. Conclusions. Mindset, possible work rate, lack of concentration, can't handle being in front, can't sustain pressure for a full quarter when it really matters, when the heat is on, dumb. Everyone needs to take responsibility, everyone. Will Setterfield, Matthew Cottrell, and most of all, our leaders, Cripps, Doherty, Jones, Wiedering, had all a part to play in that. How can we move forward, okay? How can we move forward when this is consistently happening? And the coach doesn't get off either. The inability to identify the most dangerous players at that point in time, with 6 minutes remaining, 3 goals up and momentum our way. The inability to identify that Josh Kennedy would be the one. Huge work rate. The inability to fucking have a proper matchup for Isaac Heaney and just let him control the back end of that first quarter. Things have got to change. I've mentioned quite a few times, there's no real panic stations, I think, in regards to the coach until the wheels come off. Well, the wheels haven't come off in terms of scorelines, okay? Well, I think we have yet to be beaten over 30 points. But I think the wheels are slowly coming off. With the consistency of the way things unfold. And that for me is the biggest concern of all for David T and his players.